Hey guys, and welcome to another edition of the Interstellar Modeler. In this video, what I'm going to do now is detail the building of the Space 1999 Eagle. By the way, this card that you see here is one that comes with the kit. If you're lucky enough, you'll get one of the autographed ones. This is Nick Tate, who played Alan Carter on the TV series. Unfortunately, I did not get one, but we're going to go ahead and keep it here as serve as inspiration, because hopefully our model will look something like that when we're done. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. What I'm going to do first is address these modules here and here. If you recall from the preview, these are the sections that come solid, like you see here, and I want to drill them out and hollow this out so that we can expose the detailing that I'm going to put inside here. So let me go ahead and show you the tools that I'm going to be using for this. The first is going to be the Dremel, and I've already attached a small drill bit. I'm going to use the Dremel to drill small holes along the inside perimeter here, and then eventually just cut out the section in the middle. It's going to be a rough cut, but then I'm going to smooth that over with some files, and I have different types of files here. Some have these angled edges to hopefully fit into these corners, and I have some flat ones that will hopefully sand down the middle sections there. And then I also am going to use the sanding sticks that will fit into the section once it's cut out, again just to smooth it further. And I cut out some strips of sandpaper. If I have to, I'll just use that to also help smooth the interior as well. And by the way, the files came in this set here that I bought at the model store. This is made by Tester. It comes with different types of files there. The set ran about $13. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and drill the holes here, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so I've drilled the holes along the interior here, and now what I'm going to do, and I did this by the way on a low speed, that way we're not melting the plastic. The one thing you have to be careful of when you're using a Dremel is if you have the tip going too fast, it starts to melt the plastic and it starts to accumulate on the drill bit, and that just makes a mess. So low speed, drill the holes here, and now I'm going to go ahead and cut it out at a higher speed, and I'll show you the rough cut here in a second. Okay, and you can see the cut there. However, before I go on, I wanted to show you the drill bit here, and you can see when you run it on a higher speed, the plastic has a tendency to melt on it. And this can be cut away with an X-Acto knife, so I'm going to peel that away and work on this hole a little bit further. Alright, so here we have the hole now that's been cut out, and what I'm going to do now is take an X-Acto knife and trim this away, and then I'll start using the files. Alright, so I'm going to hold the camera in one hand here. I don't have a tripod readily available here, so what I'm going to do is hold the camera with one hand here. I'm going to show you now. I'm going to take this file, and you can see it has these angled edges, so you can fit right there. And just gently, I'm not going to put too much pressure, I'm just going to start filing away. And then I'm going to smooth the edges as we go along here. I'm going to alternate between this file and this other one I have here. This one has a flatter edge, and you can fit along this side here. And then go around and use it on this side. And I'm just going to work at this here, and then I'll show you when I'm done. Just about done here, actually. And I'll be back in a sec. Alright, so you can see it's coming along here. I'm going to go ahead and just take the X-Acto knife and just trim away a little bit more at the corner. It's a little pointed here at the end. And I'll work at that a little bit, and then when I'm done with that, what I'm going to do then is start using the sanding sticks, and they will simply just slide into place here. Alright. And that will smooth over each of the sides there, like so. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and work on this just a little bit more, and I'll show you when I'm done with it. Alright, and there we have one section that's been cut out here. I'm going to work on that just a little bit further, just to smooth it out a little bit more there, and I'll proceed now with the rest of the sections, and I'll show you when this piece is done. Okay, so you can see this entire section now has been cut out, and went ahead and did the rectangular parts here. These are actually easier to do than the triangular areas here. It was really a matter of just doing the same thing, you know, cutting along the perimeter there, and the sanding sticks fit so perfectly in there. It was very, very simple, so this could be done fairly quickly. As you go along, you do start to pick up the pace a little bit, so at first you're a little hesitant because you're drilling into this sort of thing, but it does tend to get a little easier as you go along. And so I'm going to continue to smooth this over, and we have a few other pieces to get through, so I'm not going to go through each one individually with you here, but I'll show you all of them when they're completed. Alright, so you can see here they are all completed, so where there's a will, there's a way, right? Everything looks pretty good here, I think, so far. I'm going to do a little bit more cleanup just to smooth them out a little bit more, but we are ready now to move on to the next step. Alright, so what we have here now are both modules that have been temporarily assembled with masking tape, and the task now is to create the interior detailing. So what I've done was I've used styrene plastic here. This is something that you can get at your local hobby store. And I kind of guesstimated and modified and cut till I got these pieces here. These measure about 1.5 inches long by 7/8 inches high. Yours might vary a little bit if you decide to do this. And then once I was able to slide that in place, I also marked off this area here. You can kind of see it in pencil, and this corresponds to this section here. These are those protrusions that go into the module here that of course will support the landing pods. The reason why I wanted to mark those off is because I am going to be now adding some surface detailing here, and I of course want to avoid that section there since you can't see it anyway, and I didn't want it to interfere with the way this is sitting inside the module. I also marked off each piece as well, so I gave each one a number, and that way I will know which is which here so there's no confusion. Alright, so I'm going to proceed forward then. Ultimately I'll be painting these gray and dirtying up a bit with some pastels. So what I'll do is I'll move forward here and show you when one of them is done. Alright, so here we have two panels now that I've created, and essentially what I've done is I've just taken spare parts that I just have laying around here, along with the styrene rods and pieces of styrene plastic, and just cut out some pieces here and just laid them out randomly. The detailing looks a little crude, but remember they're going to be enclosed in this cage here. We just need to be able to peek through these bars and see that there's some detailed pieces inside. Well, actually what I ended up doing was finishing the panels after all, so this is what they're going to look like here. They've been painted now a light gray. This is a light gray from Vallejo. And then I use pastels to kind of dirty them up a little bit. So let me go ahead and slip a couple of these into one of the modules now that's been glued together, and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, so here we have now a module with the two inserts in place, and hopefully as you look through the cages there you can see some of the interior detailing. So what I'm going to do now is end this video here, so this ends part 1. Part 2 of course will complete the construction of this model. What I wanted to do in this section of course was just to detail how I was going to work these out here. Alright, if you have any questions about this, feel free to contact me as I said. Otherwise, I will see you then in the next one. Thanks again for watching.